Hello everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very, very well. In this video today, I'm going to be speaking about Robert Sanchez, the Chelsea number one. Lord knows why he still is the number one, but I'm here to talk about why he must be, should he be, and what do I actually think about it. So listen, without further ado, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do, and smash the like button as well. It shows us that you are enjoying the content. But listen, those of you who have been watching Robert Sanchez since he came to Chelsea, we can all agree that it was quite an inflated price tag that we had. He was a good goalkeeper. He was a great goalkeeper under Graham Potter at Brighton, but eventually he got dropped by Roberto De Zerbi because he just makes too many mistakes. His distribution can be really great, and he's a great shot stopper at times as well. There's no denying that. He's absolutely made some fantastic saves in a Chelsea shirt as well, but De Zerbi saw it. And for some reason, we still decided that we wanted to have a reserve goalkeeper for Brighton as our number one. So yeah, I mean, that's the situation, isn't it? I mean, we brought this guy in thinking that he was going to revolutionise our goalkeeping situation. Kepa was very underwhelming. He's been underwhelming for Chelsea. But actually, is there an argument to be made that Kepa is a better goalkeeper than Robert Sanchez, even with how poor he was for Chelsea? So I'm going to break it down. I mean, this season, if we go game by game, Robert Sanchez, the games that he's played, he's had some good games. He's had some bad games. It's been a very, very mixed bag. One thing that I will not deny is his goalkeeping ability. If someone has a shot, they have a crack, he just has this ability to be able to get his arm to it when Kepa never would. And that's one thing that Robert Sanchez certainly is good at. But the problem is, it's one good thing and then some absolute bozo moments. His distribution since he's been at Chelsea has been nothing short of a disgrace. And I don't say that lightly. That word, I mean, it's terrible. If you go on Chelsea's website right now, right? I've got this in front of me, all right, just so you know. His pass success rate is 75%. It is the lowest ranked in the team at this moment. There is no player on the Chelsea website with a lower pass success rate than Robert Sanchez. Do you know how bad that is? That is shocking. Mark Guiu, Nicholas Jackson, Mudryk, Dewsbury Hall, Palmer, Sanchez. I mean, they're all... Oh, mate. If you're a goalkeeper, you should be making the majority of your passes. This is how it should be. 75% is still the majority, but we should be looking at 85 to 90% as a bare minimum. That tells us that when Sanchez pings a ball, there is a 8 out of 10 chance, a 9 out of 10 chance that it is going to get to the man, no problem. But what you're telling me is almost 30% of the time when this keeper has the ball, he gives it away. Now, for a manager like Enzo Maresca, who wants a keeper who can distribute the ball, I don't see how that's acceptable. And we're going to go through some of the games from this season as well. Brighton, we conceded 2 goals because of Robert Sanchez. Liverpool, poor goalkeeping when we conceded at Anfield with Curtis Jones getting that goal. That could have easily been prevented. Not to mention the fact that Jota almost scored from a dodgy pass from Sanchez. Newcastle, in the Premier League, his distribution, that was the final straw for a lot of fans. I spoke to Charlie coming out of Matthew Harding after the Newcastle game. I said, how are you doing, mate? The first thing he said is, get Robert Sanchez out of this club. And Manchester United, he conceded the penalty. You could argue that defensively we should have done better with Fofana, but he still could have done better himself. There's too many moments where I feel like I cannot count on this keeper. This keeper keeps letting us down. How many more chances does Robert Sanchez need to prove that he's good enough for Chelsea? I've just told you he's got the worst pass success rate in the team. Forget goalkeepers. He's got the worst pass success rate at Chelsea. It's ridiculous. His pass completion percentage in terms of short balls is actually higher than a lot of players, which is fair enough. 97% accuracy, which means that 3%, we've probably conceded about 3 goals from that. His long balls are a big problem, though. 29% pass completion. Now, the team average is 43. I think that needs to improve massively. And this is an area of his game where I don't think that we're ever going to see any improvement. I think that, listen, players don't put their body on the line enough. Sometimes there's a 50-50 and I don't see a player jump for it. There's not much the keeper can do about it. But what he can do is facilitate better passes for the players to work with around him. And anyone with a pair of eyes can see that he's not been doing that. So it's really, really difficult to defend a keeper who can't pass the ball, even if they're good at shot stopping. But as I've alluded to with some of the games as well, Liverpool and the Man United game, that wasn't his feat. That was just goalkeeping ability in general. So, no real denying the fact that with Robert Sanchez, we've had a massive weak link in this team. And the question is, how long is it going to take before something changes? There was a tweet that came out saying Robert Sanchez has 2 errors leading to goals and 2 penalties committed in just 10 games. Kepa had 3 errors leading to goals throughout his entire Chelsea career. Now, these stats that we just read out about Robert Sanchez, that's not even including last season when we conceded that goal from Declan Rice because Sanchez passed him the ball. It's not talking about the distribution against Brighton in the Cup. I don't think he made a single pass in that game. It was that bad. And there's other examples of what I'm speaking about. So this, for me, is an issue that didn't need to become an issue so quickly, but it has, because these errors aren't every other game, it's every game. And I'm starting to get to the stage as a fan where I feel like we're criticising Fofana, people are criticising Gustos. I spoke with people about Levi Colwell as well. And they're saying, well, our defenders need to do better. But do you not understand that as a defender, you feel a lot more comfortable and confident if you know what you can trust behind you? If I don't feel like I can trust the keeper, I'm going to try and pass the ball forward. I'm going to try and pass to another player on the pitch rather than making use of my keeper. But it doesn't seem like that trust is there anymore. There's a lot of moments against United when Reece James had the ball, could have passed to Sanchez, didn't do it. It happened with other players as well. They're trying to keep it away from this guy because they know if he gets the ball, there is a good chance that we will be under significant pressure, and potentially that could lead to a goal-scoring opportunity for our opponents. Now, not to say that Sanchez hasn't had good games as well, because he has. He was good in our opening game against Man City. He made some great saves. He kept us in the game against Nottingham Forest towards the end. He was the man of the match against Bournemouth, saving a penalty. If it wasn't for him, we would have never had a chance to win, let alone got all 3 points, which actually looks even more impressive when you see that Man City couldn't beat Bournemouth at the Vitality. So, yeah, I mean, you can argue that Sanchez has had good moments, but this is not a mid-table club anymore. We've gone through this stage of 12th to 6th, and now we are pushing for top 4. Do you believe, in your heart of hearts, that Robert Sanchez is good enough for us to get top 4? If the answer is yes, then I ask you this. Do you think he's good enough to win a title with Chelsea? No chance. There is no debate. I could run through a list of all of the goalkeepers in the Premier League at the moment, and I don't think Robert Sanchez at this moment in time starts ahead of any of them. And that is not an exaggeration. I don't think he starts for Southampton. I don't think he starts for Ipswich. I don't think he starts for Leicester. These are relegation teams. And I don't think that Chelsea's goalkeeper could get into those teams. Why? Because he's not reliable. You can't count on him. When the chips are down, who knows what Robert Sanchez is going to do? I think he'd be a great poker player because I can't read what he's thinking. He could have a great set of hands and I wouldn't have a Scooby-Doo. But sometimes he's going to win big and sometimes he's going to lose it all. And I think if Chelsea continue to play this man, if Enzo Maresca continues to persist with Robert Sanchez, then it is going to cost us points this season. And we have been lucky that in games like against Wolves, we scored 6, we scored 4 against Brighton, even when we conceded 2 goals because of Robert Sanchez. What happens when we can't score and then there's a mistake? What happens then? Who do we blame? This is ultimately going to come back to bite with the manager. And Enzo Maresca has a serious decision to make. There's no doubt in my mind that Jorgensen will play against Noah and Sanchez will play against Arsenal. But I think if we have another poor performance, another questionable performance, that will be the final nail in the coffin for everyone, even though I'm pretty much already there. But every single game, we see something from this player, and it is so frustrating because it can be so simple. All you have to do is give Jorgensen a chance. We know he's good enough. He had the highest save percentage in La Liga when he was at Villarreal. Same as Petrovic, by the way, who had the highest save percentage in the MLS when we bought him. And look what happened when Petrovic come in for Sanchez last season. Actually did a very good job. But because of his lack of distribution in terms of the quality, that's why Sanchez starts and Petrovic is sent out to Strasbourg. But I don't think that that's turned out to be a good decision. I don't think that from a football perspective it makes any sense. What will probably end up happening is Petrovic might stay at Strasbourg for another season, and then we'll look to flip a profit because we only spent 14 million on Petrovic, and we can still make money on him. So that tells me that there are other options. Listen, we've got a number of keepers at our disposal. Mike Penders as well, we've signed. He's a young goalkeeper who will be in the squad next season, hopefully. I think Jorgensen certainly deserves more of a chance. And I leave you with this last point, guys. I mean, if I don't want to sound like I'm taking the mickey, but I do want you to genuinely think about this. We have Marcus Bettinelli, who is our 3rd choice keeper at the moment. Do you believe that he would have made 4 mistakes in 10 games that led to goals? 2 of them being dodgy passes and 2 penalties conceded. Do you honestly believe that Bettinelli would have done that? I think that even our 3rd choice keeper would have made less mistakes than Robert Sanchez has so far this season. And I don't think that this is sustainable. If he improves, nobody's going to have anything to say. And you know what? I'll hold my hands up and I'll say I was wrong. But we're not seeing an improvement. We're hearing that Chelsea believe he can become one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League, and he's 26 years old and he still haven't lived up to his potential. What were people saying when he was 22, when he was 20, when he was 18? How long is this process going to take? By the time Robert Sanchez is ready at this point for Premier League level at Chelsea Football Club, I'm going to be collecting a pension. So we can't wait that long. We have to get things sorted sooner rather than later. Give Jorgensen a chance. And to be honest, I don't even think I want Sanchez playing in the cup games. Because if you lose one game in the cup because of a mistake, you're out. Unless we're talking about the Conference League group stages. So, yeah, really, really worrying from that perspective if you're a Chelsea fan. I don't think that anyone wants Sanchez to continue as a goalkeeper. I mean, let me know in the comments if you think otherwise. Some people understand that he can make a good save. I'm one of those people. But that is not worth it when you're still making all of these mistakes. So for that reason, I want him dropped ASAP. I don't want to see him against Arsenal, but I think we will. Enzo Maresca is going to have a lot of pressure to deal with if we continue to see these mistakes. So let me know what you think about it, guys. And before we round out the video, I just want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Omely. If you don't know what Omely is, it's the best way to connect with football fans around the world. It is an app designed for football fans, totally free. There's a QR code on screen as well as a link in the description. Download Omely. You can chat with myself, Nina, Lewis, Charlie about all things Chelsea. And you can even listen to other creators as well regarding other football teams. So let me know what you think about Omely. Likes and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video. And I look forward to speaking with you again very, very soon.